When I first met Gustavo, I was perusing a magazine rack in Borders bookstore. I was very young at the time, probably about 22 or so. And I had a Frida Kahlo pin on my backpack. I heard a voice in Spanish yell out, "Oh, you really like Frida Kahlo?" And I turned around and this very handsome older gentleman was looking at me, and I said, "Yeah." And, we struck up a conversation, walked around the bookstore a little bit, sat on the floor for probably about 2 hours and had a whole conversation, and it was just, you know, like something out of a movie. Gave me his number and we kept into contact, and we just romance blossomed from there. Gustavo was detained by INS. I want to say maybe like 2 years into our relationship. He basically vanished from the face of the earth for like a good 3-4 months. I had very limited contact with him. I had no idea where he was being held. No one would tell me anything because I was nothing in the eyes of the government. I was just a friend. He came back after 3 months because he got lawyer representation and was able to apply for asylum here in the United States. Unfortunately, it was a very tough time for him emotionally, and the relationship kind of fell apart after that. It was kind of hard to relate to him and deal with what he was going through, and eventually about 5 months after, we decided to part ways. So back in the heyday of MySpace, I decided to talk about my experience through a blog post about everything that I went through, everything that Gustavo told me that he had gone through. And then Tadeo Garcia saw the treatment of the story that I had written and asked if he can do his own spin on it. So here we are now talking about it. I decided that it would be best if we parted ways, and I left the house. I left our life together. Called my dad up, packed up a couple of things, and he came and picked me up, and I left. I really had these lingering feelings of I abandoned him and I failed him and I wasn't there for him when he needed me. I went through some severe bouts of depression and thinking like what a horrible person I was for doing what I did. It was a very, very difficult time for me, especially at such a young age and being, I guess, forced to grow up so fast. I think the story needs to be told because I think that there are tons of stories out there that are very similar to mine. Stories that have not been told that people don't know about, especially pertaining to same-sex partners and going through the whole immigration process and deportation and the separation of families, because that's what we are, we're families. I believe it's something that needs to be brought to light and something that needs to be talked about more, and hopefully fixed.